Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're doing a review of the new Band of Skulls record. This one is called Love Is All You Love. Band of Skulls, they're an English rock band. I first got into their music with MLB The Show. A lot of the music I've listened to growing up has actually come from that video game, so I'm thinking about doing a video on that in the future where I just talk about some of the artists, some of the bands that I've gotten into with that, and let's get into the review. So Band of Skulls, this is their 5th studio album, and this is following up their 2016 record By Default. This album here though is marking a stylistic change in the direction for the band. They're kind of hanging their hats on the indie rock roots that they had going for them when they first broke out onto the scene. Definitely going for more of an electronic synthesizer kind of sound. On this particular record, Band of Skulls are working with Richard X, who is notably making the synthesizer work the center of attention. He just allows a few more of these cuts on here to use the synthetic instrumentation as the backbone, sharing the responsibility with the low-end bass. So in terms of a style or a genre, this album definitely goes for like a glam rock, pop rock kind of feel, but it still mixes in quite a bit of the garage rock sound in its guitar riffs, especially on the first half. This record kicks off with the song Carnivorous. We get a very dissonant vocal style. The outro vocals definitely bring to mind something off the new Foals record. And we get a very repetitive, groovy bass line, which is something that will come up time and time again in this track listing. On the second song, That's My Trouble, that's where you can start to trace the lyrical thread of love on this record. That's My Trouble is one of my favorites on the record. It's got like a very high energy, high octane kind of feel going for it. Really just brought home with the muscular drumming and the gritty guitar playing. The title track is the third in the track listing on here. It is very compelling for its bell instrumentation as well as the infectious groove. One thing I really like about the guitar solo is how it tickles your ears when you're putting on the headphones. And then we move into like this very derivative territory on the next song. This one's called Not the Kind of Nothing I Know. This one just feels like a ripoff of like Mother Mother. And if you don't know exactly who Mother Mother is, they're a Canadian alt-rock band, probably not as well known in the States. But if you just listen to like a couple of their songs and know that they go for like this very odd vocal inflection in their voices, they go for the female backup singers. Couple that with some weird lyrics and then you'll listen to this song and you'll be like, okay, I can see the comparison. And yeah, for as far as influences go, they're great a lot of the times, and a lot of artists know how to kind of mix that into their work and make it sound original still, but I feel like this one is just a little too far in the way that it doesn't feel original. Rebounding from that though, Cool Your Battles is an excellent single. This one was dropped before the record release. We get uplifting rock guitar chords. We get a lot of clunking bass drum, a bit more of a somber tone to the track as well, but it's still simultaneously anthemic. I just love how the chorus jolts with like positive, uplifting kind of dance vibes. And then unfortunately the next song, Sound of You. This one is just electronic kind of filler. I don't really get what's going for it. I find it quite a disappointment with Band of Skulls, knowing that they used to have like this very catchy rock sound to them. They've kind of exchanged this for what is on this song, Sound of You. And no, I'm not saying they can't experiment, they can't throw in new instruments. I'm just really disappointed, especially when the symphony-like bridge on this song is quite dreary, it's quite lifeless, it's quite plain. And then it just builds for the next track, Thanks a Lot. This one is also one of my least favorites on this project. We get more electronic focus being the foundation of the track. It's also kind of just hindered with like the stale and repetitive bass line. I know a lot of Band of Skulls work in the past has been driven by this repetitive bass line. I just feel like it was put to the front of the mix a bit too much on this album. More than anything, it just distracts from the melody. Next up in the track listing, I do love this song. It's one of my favorites of the year, so I sound like I'm so divided on this album because one second I'm saying, oh, I love it, and the next second it's like, ugh. But We're Alive, yeah, this one is a great song. No matter what I give this album a rating, I feel like this will be one of my favorite songs of the year. But yeah, on We're Alive, I love the gritty guitar playing. I feel like it's mixed right with the electronic kind of instruments on this track for once. The vocals also sound the best on this track here too. I love the split channel mixing where we get one singer in the right channel and one in the left. I just realized I was pointing that way which may be left on your screen and that way is right. But you know what I'm saying. Overall, We're Alive is another danceable track, and I feel like that's what they were going for with this record. It's more about the dancing. When the hi-hats get going with the bass, that's when this track hits in the chorus, really just forms the bedrock for that argument that this album is meant to be danced to. And then we move back into that territory where I'm just bored on the next song. This one's called Speed of Light. This one's definitely the most meh on the project, kind of a letdown knowing how good We're Alive is previously before it. It just doesn't grab my attention. Like, you know, a song that just instantly reels you in and just makes you want to listen to it multiple times. This one, I am not offended by it. It's just there. It's not doing anything for me. And then this record closes on the song Gold. We get some slick, funky guitar, just kind of like going for this like disco throwback. And notably, again, the guitars are tickling the ears when you wear the headphones. So overall, for Love Is All You Love by Band of Skulls, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I do have this lukewarm, slightly positive reaction to it. I like some of the songs on here. I love a couple, and then the rest are kind of just meh. One thing I will say though, lyrically and sonically, I do commend the positive, uplifting, fervent performances on here. I can really tell the band is playing genuinely, and they stay very positive in the lyrics, and it comes off in like not this cheesy way. It's actually pretty believable, because I feel like a lot of artists struggle with trying to make uplifting messages without coming off as corny. My main issue with this album though really just comes down to the repetitive, stagnant nature and structure of the songs. There's like this just one pulse going through it, and it doesn't really vary it up from there. We do get a few slower cuts on here that try to do that, but I'm a little too bored with them. And these are the ones I could definitely go without. Sound of You, Thanks a Lot, Speed of Light. So in other words, I'm just saying that like at times this album can feel pretty one-dimensional, and if it does switch it up from that one dimension and goes for something more two-dimensional, it's a bit of an awkward transition, an awkward phase. It's like we know that this band is going through a bit of growing pains as they adopt this more electronic sound. And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm saying I will come back to this music in the future. I will definitely keep up with Band of Skulls for whatever they come out with next. It's just, I enjoy a lot of their older material at the moment, and I know a lot of that is kind of riddled with this very sludgy and pulsating bass that can be found here, but I just feel like it's mixed a little too cleanly. All in all I will say is that the singles on this Band of Skulls release are the highlights, and some of the deep cuts are gonna be pretty forgettable. So yeah, I'm feeling a 6 out of 10. I am leaning towards the positive. I do feel like there are more good songs than there are bad, and there are a couple great ones. So sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this album. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, tell your friends about the channel. Let's build a community. I love you guys. Thanks for checking out the video, and as always, have a rockin' day.